Hey everybody, it's HBCU Game Day. It's a big race weekend. It's the Coca-Cola 600 weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway, one of the biggest race weekends of the year. And something very special here that we're following month to month at HBCU Game Day, and that's the career of Rajah Caruth. He's the driver of the number 6 Rev Racing Chevrolet, and a very special weekend. Let's bring in Rajah. Rajah, man, thanks for joining us once again. It's been a busy week for you, racing the Winston-Salem State University themed car this weekend. What has been special about this week, man, compared to a quote unquote normal race weekend for you?
Yeah, Tall. Thanks for having me on, man. I would say this one's more meaningful just because I get to race with my school in the car and have another HBCU be, at a NASCAR facility and be on the racetrack. So at the end of the day, it's another race, but definitely means a lot to have my school on board.
All right, so Charlotte is a 1.5-mile track, and that's the bread and butter of NASCAR for anybody who follows, all of the racing series. So this will be a lot, not exactly the same, but a lot like the same kind of setup at Kansas, right?
Yeah, some similarities, but every racetrack's different. But there are some similarities from Kansas 2 weeks ago to Charlotte tomorrow.
You had a career best second place finish there at Kansas. Now, you at one point had passed your teammate, Nick Sanchez, who went on to win. And then you were coming off, what was it, turn 3, one of those turns. A lapped car kind of pulls up in front of you. You got to hit the brakes. Nick passes you, and you're not able to get back by him for the win. Was your car good enough for a win that day if that incident doesn't happen?
I mean, I believe so. With racing at these racetracks where you're going super fast, track position is really important because of the difficulty to pass. So I think that definitely, if it was roles reverse, I feel like we would have had a different outcome there if that just didn't happen. But it's out of my control, so I can't tweak about it.
Now, I was watching that race, and one of the announcers talked about how you had discussed that was your first time at Kansas, right?
Second time. I
Second
raced
time?
there in the fall.
Okay, in the fall. And you were trying to find your balance in practice. You weren't really happy with where you are, but things kind of clicked for you during the race. Talk about how you make those adjustments, from practice to the race, and where you can kind of find that groove, and how quickly that has to happen in these ARCA races.
I think it's just up to adapting. Practice was definitely frustrating, just to kind of honing in on where I think I needed to be better. And I was just like, man. And I'm naturally hard on myself. So I think in the race, you kind of have what you have, and I adapted to what my car was, and that kind of worked out. So hopefully we have really good practice this time, so that way what I have to adapt to is really good, and I can go and lead laps and get the win.
Do you try to, when you're practicing, are you practicing to try to make a good pole run, or are you working more on race runs, like longer runs, or does it
Long
vary from
runs.
track to track?
Long runs, just because no matter where we go, I mean, if you can bust off one really good lap, that's great. But if you can't repeat it, then you're not going to be up front. So, I think my new crew chief, Brad Parrott's awesome, and everywhere we go to, we're doing long runs and race runs, and it's a lot of fun.
Heim and Dollar took each other out at the front of the race at Kansas. Then you and Sanchez were battling. How stiff do you think the competition will be with Charlotte, with those guys back, and just everybody that's in the field looking for a win on Friday?
Yeah, it'll be a pretty stacked field this weekend, and it'll be fun. I mean, I love racing against that level of guys because it allows me to elevate and just improve. So I'm excited to go race against the Gibbs cars and the Venturini cars, and give them another run for their money.
What have you learned the most about yourself as a driver in the ARCA, in the National Series, in the Menard Series this year? Season is still young. What have you learned the most about yourself so far?
Man, I don't know yet. Someone asked me that the other day. I honestly don't know. I'll have an answer for you probably the end of the summer.
Man, there's going to be an entire Winston-Salem. There's going to be a tailgate. There's going to be an entire section of Winston-Salem State alumni, fans, students there cheering you on. What would it mean for you to get a win, a great finish at the very least, knowing that, like, man, that is your crew there for you on Friday?
It would definitely mean a lot. I think from on a personal note, like it would be a long time coming from the last couple of years. That's the first place I actually raced a legend car there at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and to have that kind of be a full circle moment, have my school be on the car. I mean, it would be pretty awesome. But at the end of the day, you can't say, "Oh, I'm going to finish here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," because there's so much out of your control. So if I do what I'm supposed to do, then there's no reason we shouldn't be up front and be in contention for the win.
This has been a big year for you with the attention of sponsors. We had Virginia State sponsor you at the Xfinity race in Richmond. I know a new sponsor has come on, Circle, right? Is that right?
Circle Pay.
They seem to be, I was reading the tweets from the CEO. He called you the future of racing. What does it mean for you, man, when that business side starts to gain steam and people are really looking to put the dollars and the resources and the support and believe in what you and your team are doing?
Well, I mean, it means a lot just because, like, as you know, racing's all financial for the most part. So to have the support of great partners and people that want to see me and my family succeed, it means a lot. And at the end of the day, it allows me to chase my dreams, and I do my best to make them proud.
You know, when I watch you, man, and I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, he's translating a lot that he learned from iRacing onto these tracks. And, you know, I'm at watching you at Talladega, and I'm like, I wonder what that feels like to be at a super speedway, you know, 180, you know, miles plus. How much of that stuff, man, translated in? How much of it is like, oh my God, this is like really, really real when, you know, you're just in that element of, you know, physically going that fast?
Honestly, the more experience I get, the more it's applicable, the more it's like useful. And so literally, like, when I first started, it was so hard to compare iRacing to real life, but now I won't say it's identical, but I can use it very, very frequently, and it helps a lot.
Wow. The Coca-Cola 600 weekend is one of the biggest weekends of the year. How cool, how special is it to be in a race that kicks off such a big Memorial Day weekend for the entire sport?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, I see it as, you know, NFL Combine, like the rookie showcase on 2K. I see it like that. Like it's an audition, basically. That's how I see a lot of these companion races, you know, at Kansas and Michigan, Charlotte this weekend, Bristol, where the rest of NASCAR is in town. I see it as an audition to these big teams and sponsors, you know, to show I got what it takes and to take a chance on me to take me all the way.
We saw you over the weekend at the Rick Ross Car Show. What was the nicest car that you saw over the weekend with Rick Ross?
The coolest car I saw was I saw some cool Hellcats, but my favorite one, I seen a 1970 Chevelle. That was probably my favorite one. I saw that one. I saw some cool old school Camaros. A lot of cool Chevys, honestly. And then obviously he had some stock cars there, so that was cool as well.
What was your conversation like? I saw a couple of photos where it looks like you guys got to talk at least for a few minutes. What was it like talking to Rick Ross?
It was awesome. It's classified business, but it was awesome.
Need to know basis if you were not there.
Need to know basis, yeah.
So I know Chevrolet is your race team, but when it just comes to cars that you like and you really dig, is it straight Chevrolet across the board?
Yeah, but I want a Hellcat too. So both.
All All right, you know, we can let you branch out a little bit. It's all good. Rajah, man, we're really looking forward to seeing you this weekend. We'll be at the tailgate, HBCU game day. We'll cover everything that's going on Friday, man. And we really wish you the best. Hope to find you in Victory Lane when it's all said and done. And we appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thank you. Sounds great.